Are you as pessimistic as the forecasts? 3.5% contraction for exports, 6% contraction for imports. And when can we expect to see stabilization in the trade picture?
Our estimates are in line with those pessimistic estimates. It is mainly a result of rate hikes of major Western central banks, and there's also a lagging response from the real economy. So now we have seen that China's demand has rebounded somewhat, but it is a lot slower than what people had anticipated. The export figures is likely to get even worse in the coming quarters, and that would be reflected in the new export orders in China. We have already seen a contraction of PMI and Caixin PMI, which focuses on smaller companies, and we do not expect that figures to improve anytime soon.
And Dan, I was just talking about some of the incremental steps that Beijing has been taking to certainly ease up on these COVID curbs and make life a little bit easier for people like you over in Shanghai. But without people like you coming on our show, it's very hard to get a sense of how people are really feeling on the ground there. What are businesses and consumers saying right now? Because we have certainly seen positive news at a headline level in terms of this testing requirement being loosened, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Can you give us a sense of really how people are feeling on the ground and help us understand what's happening?
There is a more optimistic sentiment now about the true lift of the COVID restrictions, and that's the positive side. But when it comes to implementation, there are a lot of inconsistencies between different departments and different regions. For places like Beijing and Shanghai, of course, we don't need a health code or scan or do the PCR test anymore for the subways, for example. But if you want to get into the office building, these are still required. And that has caused a lot more inconvenience, at least for those of us who have to go to the office every day, because there are fewer COVID testing places. And there's always a long line. And if there is one positive case in the building, then that floor and the floor above and below will be shut down instantly. And we don't know if the true restrictions or return to normal can happen actually within the next 6 months, because we can see that for smaller cities, for example, like Taiyuan and Xi'an, their changes in the COVID policies are still very much behind what's going on in Beijing and Shanghai.